Welcome to Nerd Positive. This is a Facebook and YouTube live podcast that celebrates everything we feel is awesome in the hopes of spreading our fandom to you. After the live show, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you find your audio fix. Each week, we dive into the hearts of fandom, celebrating the things we love. From sci-fi to fantasy, movies and TV shows, and comics to video games, we explore the universes that have captured our imaginations and made us lifelong fans. Expect passionate discussions, in-depth analyses, side quests, and maybe even a few things under the bed. Whether you're a die-hard yippee-ki-yay motherfucker or just dipping your toes in the fandom waters, Nerd Positive is the place to be for your Sunday night. I'm the host, Steve, self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome. Proud to be tuned with me every week is the co-host with the mostest of the co-hostesses. This is the unverified twin of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the eyebrows. The unverified twin of Dave Batista in the head wrinkles. The unverified twin of Carl Weathers in the mustache.
The flavor savor.
The unverified twin of Tony Todd in the right earlobe. And the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples. Brian, what's going on, buddy?
Well, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for surviving the pandemic and now testing Nerd Positive. As always, I am your co-host, the tag team partner one, Bradley B10, Brian S. Dennis. Well, this week the S stands for Wall Crawler.
Yeah, as it should. As it really should. Man, so what do we got going on today?
Well, we got a bunch today. We're probably going to be one of our longer episodes. We got a ton of stuff to cover. So as always, we're going to hit our favorites of the week. We're going to do the Nerd-a-getton, turn of awesomeness. And this is really exciting. I don't know about you. This is one of my favorite ones to do because we're going to talk about Spider-Man's Rogue Galactus, who is the ultimate villain for Spider-Man. And then, of course, this is full-on WrestleMania season. Next week, we get not only one, but 2 nights of a premium live event. Old school folks call them pay-per-views. We get night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. So we got the card as it sits right now. And we're going to give you our predictor who we want to win and who we think will win. And as always, we got some games that we might just have an honest ad for you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm so stoked for this WrestleMania because since they're doing it on Easter, I get to keep Anna
and 420.
Yeah, or if I have some jokes here I probably shouldn't say.
As do I. Yes.
But off mic, we'll do that. But dude.
I've seen so many memes of Snoop Dogg dressed as the Easter Bunny the last couple weeks. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the Jesus ones, I go like, ooh, that's icky. It's funny. A little icky, but definitely funny. Okay.
Right.
Because that's how he rose on the third day. He got a little high. All right. Anyway, before I completely go to hell, yes, sir. Let's get to it, my friend.
All right, man. So, yes, on this week.
Oh, so you said because it's Easter, you get to keep Anna an extra day. Is that what's going to happen?
Yep. So I get to keep her all through WrestleMania. I'm going to take her back on Monday. I got to figure out my work schedule.
Beautiful.
So that's going to be fun times. At the household. I did some lunch break reviews. I'm all caught up on that. So I did the episode for The Amateur, which came out today.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that in our favorites.
Yes.
Absolute Batman #7. Dude, have you read any Absolute Batman yet?
It is on my to-do all the time, and I swear every time I get ready to read something, something comes up. But yes, dude, I got to get into it. I see the look every couple weeks when we talk about it. I got to catch up. I am dropping the nerd positive ball here.
That's right. That's okay. I just did a Minecraft episode.
When you talk, not interrupt you, but you talk about Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Is Absolute Batman your favorite versus the other two? Like, what's been your favorite of those series?
So there's now been 2 rounds of books now. So the round 1 was Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Batman is by far my favorite.
Okay.
And then round 2 was Martian Manhunter, Flash, and Green Lantern. And Green Lantern is my favorite. I didn't like the Flash too much, and Martian Manhunter was just. It was really out there for me.
Okay.
It definitely has its audience. I'm just not in. So,
all right. As we are speaking now, I am seeing Absolute Batman Volume 1, The Zoo. Is that where I should start?
Yeah.
Okay. Mark my words, podcast listeners. I am hitting purchase right now. It is supposed to be at my home on Tuesday. We record on Sunday, so within 2 days. So I will at least get into it before WrestleMania. So when we record post WrestleMania, I should be able to give you an Absolute Batman report, bud.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And then the newest episode is actually the first issue after the zoo.
Okay.
And they introduce Mr. Freeze.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, Sinners comes out this week, and I also another book that I'm super excited about. I'll do an episode of Lunch Break Reviews on. Is I talked to you a little bit about it, Resurrection Man.
Yes.
So I've never really read him. I just thought, whatever, he's just kind of a one-up character dude. He's got a Black Label book out right now, and it is so fantastic. One of the best things I've read in a hot minute. So if you're a comic book collector, go get some comics, man. So
and Immortal Man is really interesting because not Immortal Man, Resurrection Man, because within those comics you have a few different characters that their power is complete resurrection, and we played with the idea of this with different characters where they have healing abilities. So they heal, but really not taking into the core part of the character that they cannot die. So Deadpool, Wolverine, Apocalypse, Ra's al Ghul. We have multiple characters that have either already lived for hundreds, even thousands of years, with the idea, though, that because of technology or healing abilities, but that's not the core of who they are. It's just a known thing, right? Sabretooth would be up there. But then you have a few characters. There's Immortal Man, there's Mr. Immortal, then there's Resurrection Man, as well as Vandal Savage, who the fact that they cannot die is really integral to the character, the Immortal, from the Invincible series as well. So it's just very interesting. And again, Resurrection Man is one of my favorites, because if you don't know Resurrection Man, we can do a deeper dive on a future show. When he dies, part of his resurrection is that he's brought back with a power that has some type of connection to either how he died or how he was resurrected. So every time he dies, whatever power he dies with goes away, and he comes back with a new power. So I think that's really just intriguing, because he's a character that's not static. He's a character that is always in some mode of self-discovery, which I think makes him extremely interesting.
Yeah, and in this Black Label, the power that kills him is time. He dies of old age.
Okay.
So he now is resurrected with power over time. And
that's outstanding.
It's fantastic. It's so good. I wish I had the. I'm gonna look up the. And once I'm gonna look up the. I just want to give the guys some
credit.
Some credit. The writer here. It's called Resurrection Man: Quantum Karma, Book 1.
Okay.
And the creative team is written by Ron V. That's right, Ron V.
Okay.
Then art is by Anand RK and Mike Spicer. And yeah, it's so freaking good. Gotta read it, man. So.
One of my all-time favorite books or collections. And we make fun of Aquaman on the show. We don't talk a lot about Aquaman, seriously. But one of the best JLA arcs was called The Obsidian Age, and I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's an Aquaman-centric story where actually the JLA gets sent back in time thousands of years to discover what led to Atlantis being sunk. And you see pre-underwater Atlantean culture, and then you find out all the thing without being too much of a spoiler. But one of the most interesting things that comes out of that book is that you find out that Plastic Man is also immortal. And he talks about how part of it is, as the JLA gets transported back to present day through time travel, he, because they thought he was dead, gets left behind, and he literally sits on the bottom of the ocean for a few thousand years because he can't die. And he mentions that he would go insane until he get bored of being insane, and then his sanity would return, and vice versa. It was he goes, I would drift in and out of sanity because I was bored. So it just became, and of course, my favorite thing is, oh my goodness, how did what was the surprise? And I forget who he's having the initial conversation with it, but he goes, yeah, I went to tell Bats, and he said he already figured it out. He goes, Batman, when he looked at my sailor structure, figured I probably couldn't die. Just didn't want to tell enough I can handle it. I'm like, wow. Great so story arc. It's very serious, and that takes Plastic Man. Don't get me wrong, he's in it partially for comic relief, but actually he's less comic relief than he normally is. So if you get a chance to read the collection of Obsidian Age, without a doubt, my favorite Aquaman-centric story. All right. Yeah. So since we talk about some of our other favorites, let's talk about our most current favorites, sir. Do you want to go first?
Sure, man. So TV shows, The Bondsman, I got watching that, and then Leia took her first steps into a bigger world today of Supernatural. We started the long trek.
Yes.
Of Supernatural.
Yes.
So this will be probably my favorites for the next 3.5 years.
Yes.
Until we're all done. But so Bondsman, Supernatural is my shows that kind of been getting into. And comics, talks about the comics. One more comic I want to add up, which kind of ties in today. Amazing Spider-Man #1. So Marvel Comics actually restarted the numbering of Amazing Spider-Man, which is going to allow Peter. So they're kind of starting back over to allow Peter to, get back to his ground level and the villains and stuff like that. So, it kind of fits in. And then movie, I saw The Amateur.
Okay.
And have you seen a trailer of The Amateur?
I have, and I'm a big fan of Rami Malek, period. But yes, tell me more about it.
Then you know the entire movie.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Really?
Every good part of that movie was in the trailer, man.
Oh.
Like you can figure out the movie with just the trailers.
I was afraid that might be true. I mean, when you see a trailer that's that good, it makes you think like this has got to be all there is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I knew what they were going for. They were going for like a newer, updated, geeky Bourne. Yeah. They missed the mark. I mean, Ryan Malek can do it.
Yeah.
But like, they didn't really give him anything.
Just give us a Mr. Robot movie. That's what I want. Just give me a Mr. Robot movie. Yeah.
Because Mr. Robot was fantastic, man. Yes. So, what about you?
All right. So my favorites are gonna be. There's all gonna be television related, and I just had a wide swath, a variety of movies. Of shows that I really dug. So first off, saw the season finale of The Pit. Fantastic. Really put a pin on it. If you've not caught the last episode of The Pit, you definitely should. Did a great job of kind of, close the loop on a lot of current storylines, setting the stage for season 2. I'm curious how they do with The Pit, being that an entire season is one shift at an ER. If season 2 is going to be the next day or a small time jump. I'm very curious about that. Also, The Bondsman, which we can give some lunch break review scale here in a minute. But then two others that don't typically fall into what we talk about, but they're both such good. Well, one is extremely good. One just kept my attention, and I mean that in a good way. But one is like, it was fantastic and gave you all the ocular perspiration. So it is called, and you can stream this on Hulu. It is called Dying for Sex, and it stars Michelle Williams, basically, and this is based on a true story. This actually is based on a podcast. So, so it was actually a podcast that detailed the last months, about a year, in the life of a woman who develops, unfortunately, incurable cancer. So you know that from episode 1. So this is not a spoiler. It's almost in the title of, she finds out the first episode that she has terminal cancer. And then it follows her and the people around her on what that actually means from the perspective of several things. But you can probably guess from the title, her figuring out how she's going to enjoy the last weeks, months of her life, and there's a lot of depth to it. So I don't want to soft sell it at all. It is a very deep show. 8 episodes. They all are about a half hour in length, so you can definitely binge it pretty easily. Definitely, again, have some awkward perspiration moments. Have some really insightfulness about how friends become family. If you're in a marriage, talks a lot about that. It's just a really great show. Michelle Williams will most likely get some type of Emmy nod. She was fantastic in this. And then the other one, and I watched this primarily for Princess Leia. There's a show on Netflix, and Netflix basically goes the Netflix version of Grey's Anatomy.
The Pulse.
And I go, why the hell not? So I clicked on it. Have you and your family, especially Princess Leia, have you watched The Pulse?
No, because we're not done with the pit.
Okay. All right. This is the highest recommendation I can give it. It's better than Grey's. It's far more interesting. And it takes some turns that are less predictable. I think I'm about halfway through the season, and it has some notable folks. So 2 shows that we love. 2 shows that we love, and I hear the princess there. The 2 shows that we love as part of this podcast, they have members of the cast. So the actor that plays A-Train in the Boys is one of the lead male characters, and the actress who played the young version of the sister in House of Usher, the young version.
Oh,
she is the lead. She's the lead doctor.
Nice.
So. I took me a second to place it, and I Googled it, and I'm like, okay, the show looks at medical things, look at insurance, all the things. It takes place in Miami, so very get a lot of Spanish, a lot of beautiful Latino women, so that could be a motivation as well. It definitely leans into a melodrama a bit, but it is much more watchable than Grey's Anatomy.
Absolutely, and that is the right decision right there. Leia, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hello.
What's up, Brian?
Please. You hold. Hi.
Hey there, Princess Leia. How are you?
Good.
Okay, so I was telling your dad that when your next thing you have to binge, because I know you love Grey's Anatomy, you should watch The Pulse on Netflix. It's pretty good.
Sure.
If you like Grey's, you will probably like this. This is much better than Grey's Anatomy.
Which might be really good for ASMR.
Is that bread or Rice Krispie treat? I can't tell what that is.
It's Krispie treats.
Okay, that looks really good. Peanut butter or marshmallow?
Peanut butter, marshmallow.
Oh, let's go Scotch Rouge.
Yes.
Oh, Scotch Rouge. Never mind. I like that. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, but these are marshmallows, man. My mom
Okay.
make really good ones.
Quick question for you, Leia. Are you excited for WrestleMania?
Ice cream, but I can't. So I'm
Okay.
just gonna do the opposite.
So then, what do you have a match you're looking forward to? I bet you I can guess which one. Do you have a match you're looking forward
Live and recover, Bailey and Rock, whatever her name is. Lyra.
Lyra, yes. Who do you want to win? I bet you already know. Who do you want to win?
Liv and Raquel. Mostly Liv, but
Yeah,
Raquel's an added
Raquel's
bonus.
kind of there, yeah, but Liv is one of my favorites too. All right, very cool.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, let me talk to your dad. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Father.
John.
Me and Mother on the last round was the phase 10, and we're both on the same one.
Oh. No, they're playing a hard fought game of phase 10. All right, baby girl.
Phase 10 is a baller game. Phase 10 is
Bye-bye.
a baller card game. Bye-bye, princess. All right.
Have you played phase 10 flip?
I don't know if I have or not. Phase 10 flip, is that what you call it?
Yeah, there's a phase 10 flip out there. We bought it and we haven't played it.
Okay, is it still the same? Is it still a card-based game, or or is it different?
Well,
Okay, phase 10 flip. All right, I'm gonna check that out.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, and because our phones listen to us, of course, it's the first thing that came up in my search. All right, okay, it's a whopping. It's pretty inexpensive, so I might check that out. All right, All right, my guys. So, do we want to start off? Oh, we need to real quick. We need to run through Bondsman and put it on our scale so far. So,
Yes.
All right. So before we get started with Bondsman, I was digging so much Kevin Bacon in this, but also, you know, the big thing that I was thinking is if he could do a British accent. What do you think about him in any type of updated version of Constantine? I loved how broken he was.
Yeah, I can see it.
And then we got to give love to Jennifer Nettles, or being from the South, the other half of Sugarland. She's a fantastic country singer. That's one of the reasons why she was cast in that role, but is a really good actress as well. Really good actress.
Has she done any other acting besides this? I guess I never looked up.
Nothing I could think of. I'm looking right now to see what it. So for her filmography,
she was great. She's great.
She did. Everything has been based on basically some country western shit. A couple movies that were produced by Dolly Parton, like Movie of the Weeks. She did a bunch of CMT specials, and then she's been like a guest host on like those singing reality shows. So this is like the first like true acting looks like she's done. It did say she was in an episode of Exorcist The Believer. So I don't know if I've actually seen that, but she does have a credit in Exorcist Believer. So
nice.
Stepping out into acting, and you're right. I think she did a phenomenal job, and I know you're not through the entire series or the season. I won't give any spoilers, but I think earlier you tested you're about halfway through episode 4. Really excellent, and it gets better and better and better. It really does. Okay.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm on episode 5 now. I think.
Okay.
So he's just so the audience is just figuring out that he killed somebody. That he killed somebody, hence why he went to hell, or you know, you'll see. But okay. All right, so here is what the lunch break point system is. The lunch break point system is a unique lunch-themed rating system designed to help you decide if a movie or TV show is worth your time. Each title is scored across 5 categories: story, characters, entertainment, visuals, and rewatchability, with up to 5 points per category, totaling 25 points. Bonus points can be awarded for standout elements, movie fog or TV fog, Oscar worthiness or Emmy worthiness, or deducted for major missteps, cringe factor. The final score determines if it's a pack it or a toss it in the trash. Now remember, a bad lunch can ruin your entire day, guys. So here we go. We're going to do a quick lunch break review of The Bondsman. Brian, we're going to start with the main course, the story, the plot. How well does the story hold up? Is it satisfying and engaging? 1 point would be bland and undercooked. 3 points would be decent, but missing something. And 5 points would be rich, flavorful, and fulfilling.
I'm going to give it the rich, flavorful, and fulfilling for no other reason than this. This is not a never before thought of concept, okay? So not to give too many spoilers, but the idea of the Bondsman, we've seen version of this, but what is really unique is just how unlikable yet still likable the character that Kevin Bacon portrays is. He is not a greatly redeemable person. Because of that makes it something that you want to see, and the episodes are short too, so it makes you want to jump to the next episode. So I'm going to give that a 5.
All right, so I'm actually going to go with 4 because I think it's better than decent, but it actually it took me a good 2 episodes to actually get invested into the show.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that's okay. So we're gonna average.
Also, I've seen the entire series, so a season, so that might lead into, because I think the second half of it is better. I think the first half is good. I do think the second half is better. So yes.
Sweet. All right. Next is star ingredients: the characters and the dialogue.
Yep.
Are the performances strong? Are the characters well developed? 1 point would be flat, forgettable. 3 points, some great performances, but uneven. And for 5 points, iconic, perfectly seasoned.
I'm feeling what you're saying. I'm picking what you're putting down. I'm gonna give that one a 4 as well. Again, it's a small cast. I think what Kevin Bacon and Jennifer Nettles do a great job. I also really like the mom character Kitty, played by Beth Grant. She does a really good job, and they give us a really good bad guy. They give us a great villain in the Lucky character. Sometimes that's a little over the top, so that kind of bring it down. But I'm good giving it a 4.
Yeah, man, I am 100% on board with that one for you. I can't add anything to it. I feel like Kevin Bacon's character is really good. They give him more depth every episode of what you want, but you still got that feel of the demon of the week per se, and you got the family dynamic, and the way that Kevin Bacon and Jennifer Nettles, you buy them as an act. You really do.
Yes, they have really good chemistry, and you can see them as a couple. Yes,
absolutely. And their son in there. Yeah, it's a cool family. So yeah.
And let's remember, in real life, Kevin Bacon is married to his cousin. Let's not forget that. So
Curious Cedric is his cousin?
Yes, they found out. They did some. I can't believe I've not told this before. They did one of those ancestry things, and it's distant cousins. All right,
right.
But they did find out that they are. Now, this is after they've been married for a hot minute, but they did actually find out that they're cousins.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
This is why you never do that with your partner. You never do that with your partner, because then you got all kind of questions to answer. But yes, and she kind of looks a bit like Kira Cedric too. So I think that's also how we buy a little bit into it as well. Absolutely. All right.
Yeah. All right. So next is gonna be plating and presentation. This is for artwork and style.
Yes.
Cinematography, effects, and direction. Does it look appealing? 1 point. Is sloppy, poorly made. 3 points. Competent but uninspired. And for 5 points, beautiful and visually stunning.
I'm gonna give this one a 3.5, and the reason I'm giving it a 3.5, while it is great visual effects, they owe Sam Raimi so much credit. They stole so much of how this is from Evil Dead. This was like, I was waiting on Ash to show up. I was waiting on Bruce. How is they? I'm assuming it's going to get a second season because I think it did well with viewership. How on earth did they not put Bruce Campbell in this somehow? So they needed. This is totally inspired by the Evil Dead series. So because of that, when it's very thinly veiled, and I don't know if they did it as well as Ash versus the Evil Dead, I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Fair enough. I'm gonna give it a 3 for pretty much the same things. So we're gonna average that one out to a 3.5.
That works.
All right. And so I rounded you up to a 4, by the way.
Okay.
Okay. And then so next is flavors that pop. Is the show fun? Does it hold your attention throughout? For 1 point, boring, felt too long. 3 points would be engaging but had some dull moments. And 5 points would be every bite is exciting.
I'm cool giving this a 4 again, having seen the entirety of season 1. It kept me engaged, but I'd be lying to you. There are a couple times, and again, these are short episodes. So there are a couple times I'll rewind this or rewatch it because maybe my attention lagged a little bit, but I think overall, especially the really important seminal moments, anytime there's him interacting with his family, that always got my attention. The way that the show, each episode starts out, which shows how the jailbreak occurs, that would get my attention. Some of the other things, I was kind of hemming and hawing. Now, I don't think you're at this point yet, but when I give the backstory, and I think it might be the next episode, when I give the backstory of Midge, who is his coordinator, supervisor person, that to me is when the show definitely jumped for an interest standpoint. She definitely became a very interesting character. So again, there's more to do there, but I'll give it a 4 for right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm with you. 4 as well. Okay, next, leftovers. Rewatchability. All right, so would you experience this again? 1 point would be forgettable, definitely won't revisit. 3 points might rewatch on a lazy day, or 5 points a classic that gets better with time.
I'm gonna give this a strong 3. I'll rewatch certain episodes. I don't see the point in watching the whole thing again unless there's a long time before. Assume we get a season 2. If we're talking a year and a half before we get season 2, it might be worth a rewatch just to pick up. And even then, I think you could rewatch the last couple episodes and know where you're at jumping into season 2.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to follow suit with you just because I haven't watched the entire thing. So we are at 19 points. That is total 19. Bonus points. Do you think there's something in here worth giving it any bonus points? From like soundtrack, the Emmy worthiness, is it a classic?
It's not Emmy worthy. It's not a classic, but I will give it one extra point for Jennifer Nettles' performance, especially, and again, without giving a spoiler, the way season 1 ends specifically with her character is really important, and that was really interesting. That's a great way to leave it. Great cliffhanger. That's why I say it would definitely give us a season 2. So with that being said, her performance, I think, is worth, especially when you look at her filmography, definitely does not have anywhere close to Bacon and a lot of other members that are in the cast, and she holds her own. For that, I got to give it an extra point.
Okay, I'm not going to give it any bonus points. Now, penalties. I got penalties for, like, say, a pacing drag, sequel baiting, cringe factor, burnt to a crisp penalty, just over CGI, predictability problem, or you want to pass on the penalty?
I got to pass on the penalty. There were a few moments that were predictable, but again, because we watch so much sci-fi, I think with us, we are that audience that can see it coming a little bit. So nothing egregious. I think we're good there.
All right, man. So we are at a total score of 20 points.
All right.
And what that is, so 0 to 12 is a toss it in the trash. That's 12 to 16 has potential. 17 to 21 is a solid pick, and that's where this one will live. And 22 to 25 is a packet.
All right.
This is a solid pick, and I have to agree with it. I think that I think that's right. I think that's definitely right.
The only thing I'll say for anybody that wants to watch it, if you especially if you're not familiar with some of the shows we cited, it tells you all the way. I think it's rated M for mature. It is gory. So there is that. You got younger viewers, especially anyone that's in the single digits. It could probably, the gore factor could be a little burdensome, a little scary. I would say anybody that's I would say definitely 14, 15 up. If you're okay with a little spicy language and some gore, it falls in like with almost any rated PG-13 or rated R horror movie. Nice. No nudity, nothing like that. But again, just for younger viewers, probably not the show for them.
Nice. All right, man. Let's move on to.
Let's get it.
Look, we got to talk about some wrestling, dude. We got to talk about that WWE. We got to put in our who we think was going to win.
Yes. So here we are. So we should call these segments the Awana Wrestle. So here we go.
Oh, remember that.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run through the card for WrestleMania Night 1 and WrestleMania Night 2. There are, by my count, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 matches slated for night 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches for night 2. So 13 matches in total. And as we're doing this, we're recording this on April 13th. We have 1 Raw and 1 SmackDown to go. I feel we're definitely going to get at least 1 more match featuring a very specific person, and might get a second because one of my favorite individuals is not on the card, and I think that's a crying shame. So I hope this person gets a shot on WrestleMania. So here we go. This is based off of the card as we know it, slated for night 1, and Brad and I will go through the match, any stipulations, and we'll start off with who we want to win. So we'll vote from our hearts and do who we think will win, and we'll vote from our heads. So first off, we have for the WWE Women's Championship, which is the title we see featured on SmackDown, we have Tiffany Stratton as champion versus Charlotte Flair. Brad, did you happen to see, I think it's now a little over a week, the face-to-face promo they cut on each other that got a little personal?
Yes. It was sliding into DMs and the whole
shebang. The 0-3 and the sliding into the DMs. I also love the fact that really quick on social media, they show a picture of Ludwig Kaiser. Go, the first man to be accused of cheating that no one thought he did it. Yes. So, yes. Yeah. And by the way, Ludwig, well done, sir. Well done. Well done. Yeah. All right. So with that being said, just because I watch CVV's, was a wrestling podcast, and doing an interview with Ludwig Kaiser, who's the boyfriend of Tiffany Stratton, he asked her how did him and Tiffany get together. They met back in the Performance Center down at NXT, and he goes, we both wanted to ask each other out, but neither one of us wanted to go first. And I'm looking at him like, you idiot. Hell yeah, you should ask her first. What are you waiting around for? Like, all right, shoot your shot, player.
Yeah.
All right. So with this, going back to the actual match, Tiffany, again, is champion, defending against Charlotte. First off, Brad, who do you want to win, Tiffany or Charlotte?
I want Tiffany to win.
All right, so we are both there. So who do you think? So you have the champion retaining based on your heart pick. With your head, who do you think will win?
Charlotte Flair.
All right.
Because
go ahead.
Because it's dumb, and I don't get Charlotte Flair really. So and the fact that they let her win the Royal Rumble, I mean, sure, whatever. Yeah, I'm just thinking she's due for a push. They keep on reminding us how she's one of the best that's ever been, and I don't think we're gonna get Becky Lynch back. I think she's done.
Yeah, she's done at least for a while. Absolutely. Or that maybe sets up, which is a shame because I think Tiffany's done well as a champion. She's younger, got a great bright spot, really good in the ring. Charlotte right now is getting a lot of that go-away heat that we just don't want to see her. Yeah. And again, the promo packet, the promo where she definitely got a little personal. So Tiffany got personal back and actually won. There's that. And I'm just such a big fan of Andrade. I'm like, how do you not make that work? All right. So, and also there's some concerns about, this is all fan-based rumors. There's some concerns about Charlotte for a variety of reasons. So for me, I'm going to go with Tiffany based on my heart. I want Tiffany to win. I also think Tiffany will win. I will probably be wrong. Just as you're saying that, if Charlotte wins, that makes her 15-time champion. It also then sets up maybe not only a rematch with Tiffany, but who knows? Maybe we get Becky back at some point to go against Charlotte. Match number 2, a match I'm really looking forward to, which is a match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the men's title on Raw. We've got Gunther defending against our boy Yeet, main event Jey Uso. So, Bradley, who do you want to win this match?
Yeet. Jey Uso, man.
Yes.
Main event.
Yes. And Bradley, who do you think will win this match?
I think it's going to be Jey Uso. I think that there is just way too much there's too much momentum behind Jey.
There's a huge groundswell for Jey. Absolutely.
Yeah, and they want to escalate him to that next level.
Yes.
And dude, you know what? I would not be surprised if we don't have a Jey and Jacob tag team in the near future.
I can see it. The other part of it is they've done a great job of pointing out that he's never beaten Gunther in multiple attempts. That beatdown with Jamie by Gunther gave all the rationale in the world. And Gunther's been champion since SummerSlam. That's a really good run. Yeah. August to April. That's a good run. So at this point, in fact, the only champion that was crowned at WrestleMania that is still champion, we'll talk about with night 2. So Gunther's had a good run. This will be very few losses on the main roster, and he'll probably have more than one opportunity as world champ. For me, I have the exact same that you had. I have both Jey as my heart pick and Jey as my head pick. Next up, one of the matches that I think could have been saved for SmackDown, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Not a bad match, but not really, to me, a WrestleMania-worthy match. But who do you have, Jade or Naomi?
I'm going to have a full beer during that match because I'm going to go get it after.
Yeah. Yes. This will probably be the bathroom break match. Maybe another one might be the bathroom break match on night 1 as well. But anyway, Jade versus Naomi. Who you got, man?
It's Jade. I want, and I think Jade is going to win. I don't think there's any other option. I think we're going to see Bianca in there as well at some point because of the friction there.
Yep.
We'll get a Bianca heel turn there, and she'll screw Jade. That's the only thing I can think of that would cost her. But
possibly,
yeah. But Bianca is too good of a babyface.
Yes, I love her as a babyface. We'll talk about more night 2. She's getting booed right now because I think so many people just love Rhea Ripley. Yeah. But that has nothing to do with Bianca. That is how much people love Rhea. And nobody wants to see Rhea lose to Io going into WrestleMania. Had this been I'm jumping ahead here. Had this been a one-on-one Rhea Bianca match, as it still should be, I think we'd definitely be getting a different result. But just given the dynamics, of course she's getting booed right now, but I agree with you. My pick will be Jade as well from both sides of it. And I hope this gives us Jade versus a person that I really want to have a match on WrestleMania. I don't think is. I hope this leads to Jade versus Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Championship. Yeah. I think it makes sense. You've got Chelsea, that heel is going to run away with the Secret Harvest versus Jade, who's just the Storm is coming, the badass. Basically, that Bill Booker almost like a female Brock. Like, I would think that dynamic for that belt would be a really good way of getting eyes on it. Because right now, Chelsea doesn't have a match, but I think it's a shame. She has a match on SmackDown, but but who knows? Maybe she'll make a show. But definitely, we got that. All right. Now, a match that's had not enough build, but I am excited to see it because of what I think is going to happen. We got the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, defending the World Tag Team Championship against, as we hear them called, the New Day, Kofi and Xavier Woods. Who do you have in this one? The New Day or the War Raiders retaining?
My heart wants the War Raiders to win.
Okay.
My head says that it's going to be the New Day.
New Day. Okay.
They're the villains. They need some belts. They need to be on top for a little while.
Yes.
They're just so good. They're just so good. The old New Day was just so.
It is, and I get why you make the change, especially without Big E. They started as heels as a team. They kind of revised that. I actually think Xavier Woods is much better as a heel. The way he emotes and the way he just doesn't give a damn about the fans. I think that's really good. And this is probably maybe the last hurrah with them as on top as champions. And right now they're booking them as singles, but I could see maybe with the draft or something, we see Rey Fenix move into the same brand as his brother, and we get the Lucha Brothers taking on a New Day at some point. So you never know. All right. Now, one of the matches, this is probably of the matches on night one, this is one of my absolute favorites, which is going to be the U.S. title match. Our boy LA Knight, defending against Jacob Fatu, who is my favorite member of the former bloodline. I absolutely love him to death. He's a beast in the ring. I love the way he talks coming out to the ring. Who do you have? LA Knight retaining or Jacob winning?
This one's tough.
This is one I think is probably the toughest of night one to pick.
Yeah, because there isn't a wrong answer in this match. My heart wants LA Knight to keep it.
Okay.
Yeah. But my head and also part of my heart too really was to see Jacob Fatu.
Isn't he so awesome?
Man, that interaction with Cody, it was just like, okay, dude, I see you as a babyface now. I couldn't see it before. I can see it now.
Yes.
And we're gonna get a Jacob solo match in the near future.
Yes.
But yeah, man. So Jacob, it took a little bit for you to grow on me, but you have, and I'm a better fan for it. So yeah.
All right. So I also think, and so my picks are, this is the first time we actually are opposite on both, is I want Jacob Fatu to win. I think LA Knight wins because I think they're moving to a Jacob, like you said, a Jacob solo match. I think potentially Solo and Tama, who again don't have matches currently, somehow they come out to help. Maybe that backfires. LA Knight wins, but that definitely leads to this. I also saw some predictions by Eric Bischoff, who said a few different things related to WrestleMania. Number one, he said with both the United States title match and the Intercontinental title match, he goes, either for any of the competitors in those matches, whoever walks out is a good outcome. Like you can't go wrong. Yeah. And then he's actually predicting, but at WrestleMania 42, that Jacob Fatu will be in the main event for one of the world titles.
Yeah, he said same with he said Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker.
Oh, and Braun is I couldn't remember who the other one was.
Yeah,
it was Braun.
Yes. And he's not wrong. I mean, he's not wrong.
Yes. So all good things. Now, all right. Again, another match that I think could have been on Raw, or at least make this a mass match, give a little interest.
Yeah.
But we got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Maybe Chad Gable will come out as his valet or something.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
We've got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano singles match. All right, who do you want to win versus who do you think will win? Rey versus Americano.
I want Rey Mysterio 619 to win.
Yes.
I think Rey Mysterio is going to win, and he's going to get an El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
Will get demasked, and it's going to be Otis.
So, I know he's problematic, but if they really want to help the El Americano character get some heat, they should have him come out with Hogan's beer, the real American beer, and to start do it like Austin, like bam, and to start swinging it. Yeah, that would totally be it.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yes. Yeah,
I've never wanted anything so much.
Yes, I'm sure Hogan would hate it because it's just like whatever. By the way, I didn't mention this during our favorites. If you got time on Peacock, there's a really cool documentary on the behind the scenes of WrestleMania 9, which is significant for two reasons. Number one, it was also in Vegas, different venue, but in the same city. And it was their first outdoor pay-per-view. They now do them pretty regular for WrestleMania. But this talks about that. It also was the debut of Jim Ross, and a few other people made their debuts. So it's very interesting, especially Brad, if you not remember which the WrestleMania 9 was, it was Brett defending against Yokozuna, Yoko winning, and then Yoko losing it to Hogan. And you hear the different versions of how that came about from Hogan and from Brett. And I give you $1 who you think I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
sharp shooting dollar right there.
Yes, very, very true. All right. And we get a lot of commentary from Brutus Beefcake. So that's kind of cool to see Brutus. All right.
Oh, nice.
All right. And then the final match, which will be the main event of night one, triple threat, which is Roman Reigns, CM Punk with Paul Heyman, as that's the favor, versus Seth Rollins. Again, Brad, who do you think will win? Who do you want to win?
All right. I want CM Punk to win.
Okay.
I think Seth Rollins is going to win with the help of Paul Heyman.
All right. Yes. We are the same there. I agree with you. I want CM Punk to win because I think, again, main eventing, all the things. He's in such a great spot with the company and with himself and, all these things, but which is also going to come up in another triple threat match we're going to talk about. People are going into this really thinking it's going to be Punk or Reigns just because that's really what we've seen. Seth is there, but I don't think anyone's taking Seth seriously. And remember, he said, hey, Paul Heyman owes him a favor. So I agree with you. I want Punk to win. I think Rollins wins. I love the fact you brought it up. But I think Heyman turns on Roman and Punk, sides with Seth Rollins, and that also gives someone else to be a Paul Heyman guy. Because at this point, neither Punk nor Reigns needs him. Mm-hmm. I think he can do a lot of cool things with Seth Rollins. So, and also gets him on Netflix, like I said before. Yeah. But I think it's where you want Paul Heyman. All right, so that's night one.
How do we not have a Paul Heyman faction with all of the people that Paul Heyman has worked with, man? The fact that, man, it would run WWE.
Yes. My favorite faction, my personal favorite will always be the Horsemen, but after the Horsemen, my favorite true faction was the Danish Alliance when he had Rick Rude, Stone Cold. Well, he wasn't Stone Cold. Rick Rude, stunning Steve Austin, Arn Anderson, Larry Zbyszko, and beautiful Bobby Eaton. That group was so cool. They had the tag belts, the television title, the United States Championship. It was so amazing. So I agree with you. But I think he's almost better only having one. I think when you give him multiple people, it erodes some of the special factor. But I will see if we're right, because I think, of anything, that's the one I'm most really thinking about. Can we really predict the future on? Is that it's going to be Rollins winning by getting some help from Paul Heyman. All right.
Now, do you think we're going to get a new faction anytime soon? Because, I mean, as we're going to talk about shortly, Judgment Day is pretty much gone.
Yes.
And WWE, excuse me, they always have to have one good faction going. And is there a good faction right now?
See, and that's what we can talk a little bit more about. I don't think we're going to see, we will see the change in the Judgment Day. I think we're going to get a new member. I have thoughts about who that new member will be. And I think that Judgment Day is going to be somewhat salvaged a bit. I also think we'll see, interestingly, I think we're going to see over on SmackDown with Legado del Fantasma and with Rey Fenix, maybe some things going on there. But I agree with you. We're going to see a major change with the Judgment Day, but I think we're going to see a major addition to the Judgment Day. So we'll talk about that here in just a moment. All right, so jumping into night 2. So the first match that I have listed for night 2 is the Women's World Championship, which is Io Sky's champion, and a triple threat, which means no disqualifications. Defending against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. We already heard me say, I think everybody wanted a Bianca Rhea one-on-one match. That is not what we're getting. So who do you want to win this match? I bet you I know. And who do you think will win this match?
Well, you know me pretty good, buddy.
Yes, sir.
I want Rhea Ripley to freaking destroy this match.
Yes, I am so excited for her outfit. So
yeah, I think it's going to be Io Sky.
Wow, we are 100% on that one. Again, similar to the triple threat we mentioned for night 1. Everybody's thinking either Bianca or Ripley, Bianca or Rhea. I think Io somehow retains, and I think maybe, and I hate this because I think she is really good as a babyface, but how they've been handling this, maybe this goes to a Rhea Ripley turning heel. There may be some of this that she loses it. Remember, Bianca is a SmackDown wrestler, so if she doesn't win, she goes back to SmackDown. Maybe we see a Rhea Io feud with Rhea as the heel.
So, but even with Rhea, she never turned babyface. The fans turned her babyface.
Yeah, she's not. She's the same person.
Right. She did nothing. I mean, they had to separate her to come out separate from the rest of Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Her and Priest, because everybody loves them.
Yeah, I mean, very similar to Stone Cold. Is Austin heel Stone Cold and babyface Stone Cold didn't change a whole lot. The fans just started rooting for him. Absolutely.
Right.
All right, so we're both the same. We both want Rhea to win. We both think Io will retain. All right. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. This probably would be one of the best worked matches. Again, not necessarily has a great build to it, but I think it'll be a very well worked match. I think their styles will complement each other. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Who you got, AJ or Logan?
So I want Logan Paul to win.
Okay.
And I think Logan Paul is going to win.
I agree with you all the way around. I think AJ is in that point of his career where he's going to put guys over. Logan Paul is definitely the future. And so I think it'd be a very, very well worked match, but absolutely. And Logan will probably do what he does. He'll have one of his boys in the audience. He'll do something to cheat to win, but I definitely see Logan Paul defeating AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Now, to your daughter's favorite match of the night, we've got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, or I don't know if you heard Leia, Liv and that person that comes out with her, taking on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for the Women's World Tag Team title. Now, before we get to that, I've got a question for you. So the WWE made a big deal of adding 2 secondary women's tag championships. They had tournaments for both the Women's Intercontinental Championship and the Women's United States Champion. And both of those tournament winners are still champions. And Lyra with the Intercontinental title and Chelsea Green with the U.S. title. We know that Lyra's, while she has a WrestleMania match, is not defending. She's in this match. And Chelsea doesn't like she's going to get a match. You think that's a mistake not have either of those championships defended at WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania since they were created?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
And I think, again, it goes back to, I think you could have definitely handled Jade and Naomi on SmackDown because no one thinks Naomi's going to beat Jade.
No.
And have Jade against Chelsea. And I would have much rather seen Bayley versus Lyra at WrestleMania than we got it on Raw. With that being said, do you see Liv and Raquel retaining, or do you see Bayley and Lyra winning the titles?
I want Liv and Raquel to win.
Okay.
And I think they're going to win.
I agree with you because I think this is setting up for a Bayley-Lyra contender feud. I hope it is not turning Bayley heel just by the fact that Bayley is newly a babyface compared. She turned babyface a little over a year ago after winning the 2024 Royal Rumble. I think it would be a little soon to turn her heel again, but it's other because you still have Damage Control on the same brand. But I really think again Liv and Raquel, because they're so popular, let them be on both shows. Let them the Judgment Day be on both shows. So I agree with you. Speaking of the Judgment Day, the next match as they've got laid out is for the Intercontinental Championship. So you've got Braun Breaker, aka Steiner, defending against Penta, defending against Finn Balor, and defending against Dominic Mysterio. So anyone that's not aware, Finn and Dominic Mysterio are members of the Judgment Day faction, along with Carlito, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. So in a fatal four-way, again, multi-person matches, no disqualification. Who do you see walking out as Intercontinental Champion based on your heart and then based on your head?
So my heart wants Dirty Dom to win this. Okay. My head is thinking it's going to be Braun Breaker.
Dude, okay, so I say this to the audience all the time, that when we do our picks, other than agreeing that we're going to do the picks, we don't discuss them ahead of time. So these are truthfully live as we're doing the show. We've matched on a lot of these. So I agree with you. I really want Dirty Dom to win. I think Braun will. Again, I think anybody walking out of there will do well, but I think this is, regardless of who wins, this sets up for a break in the Judgment Day with Finn leaving. I also hope if Finn leaves, they draft him to SmackDown, because that also is going to bring him and Damian Priest on the same show. I think there's a great mid card where he can work over there, possibly for a U.S. title run. Finn's always been one of my favorites, but I feel like just because from the night he had the shoulder injury when he won the Universal title, the first ever Universal Champion, he's just never gotten a main event run on the main brand. So maybe moving to SmackDown would be great. So here's my discussion regarding Judgment Day, if you give me a moment.
Yeah.
So I think the match, however the match plays out, I will agree. I don't think Finn's walking out. I think it will be Dom or Braun, and somehow Finn would have won had not something shady occurred. With that being said, that sets up for Finn to break out of the Judgment Day. Remember that Dom keeps saying we need a new member to the Judgment Day. We need a new member to the Judgment Day. And maybe this is a feud that Finn has on his way out, but we know someone's been signed. We keep throwing in and out whether this person will be at WrestleMania. I don't think they make a spot at WrestleMania. I do think we join up with the Judgment Day. He's a dark person. He wears a lot of black. His last name is also Black. He would fit in perfectly. The return of Aleister Black. I think that makes the Judgment Day more serious.
Ooh.
I think it puts him, if not main event level, just a hair under main event level character to be the one you see in most of the matches. It also, when JD comes back, that can let JD and Dom either be a tag team or JD and Carlito be a tag team. I really think it leads to that. And I think he's really good as a heel. So bringing him into the Judgment Day will make perfect sense. So that's my predictor. That's what I want. Is Aleister Black. And by the way, WWE, if you're listening, and we know you are, if we're right, just give us our flowers. Just give us our flowers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Or some free tickets would be nice too.
That'd be lovely. Lovely. All right. So we got 2 matches to go. So Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, a Sin City street fight. And I'm a big fan of Drew. I'm a big fan of Damian Priest. for some reason, I really don't care about this match. I'll watch it. I think it'll be a fine match. I'm not saying I'm super excited about it, but again, head and heart, or heart and head, who do you see, McIntyre or Priest?
Man, I'm with you, dude. I would honestly rather see these guys team up and be a tag team and destroy everything than against each other. I guess head is going to be, so I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
My heart, I love me some Priest, so I'm going to say Priest. So, yeah.
All right. So, we've got you think will win will be McIntyre, but who you want to win. And if I was guessing for you, that's probably what I would have assumed as well. For me, I have McIntyre, both who I think will win and also who I want to win, just by the fact that I want to see him get a run and possibly maybe a future challenger for who wins the next match, which is the main event of night 2. We've got Cody Rhodes, who won the title at last year's WrestleMania by finishing his story, defending against the 16-time world champion, looking to win his 17th world title, breaking the record by Nature Boy Ric Flair. So let's pause for a second. Let's give a real quick review of this for comparison. Cena, 25 years, I think is what he said. He's been in the WWE, 16 world championship. Flair started wrestling in the 70s, 16 world championships.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair has 14 world championships and could walk out of WrestleMania with her 15th. Just to set maybe why people are a little sick of Charlotte. Maybe why they're a little sick of Charlotte.
Yeah, nepotism.
Yeah, and I understand it was they really was starting to take the women's division more seriously, and at that moment it was really the 4 horsewomen. So her, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné, and a little bit of Bayley. Bayley was not really, neither Bayley nor Becky were really on the level of Charlotte and Sasha when the women's division first came about. So Sasha and Charlotte really traded the title back and forth a lot to really draw interest into it. So I get that. A little bit of inflated numbers. A lot of her reigns were 1-2 pay-per-views, and then that was it. But again, 14-time women's champion versus the record from the men's division, at least major men's wrestling in this country, Flair and Cena at 16. So with this being said, who do you want to win the match, and who do you think will win the match?
So I want Cody Rhodes to win.
Okay.
Really do. I think for everything that you were just talking about, they turned Cena into a heel. He's getting the title. I think it's going to be him.
All right.
He's going to break Ric Flair's record, just so they can say that they did it in his year.
Yeah. Okay.
And then let him ride the villain flag or ship a little while longer.
Sure. Gotcha. All right. With that being said, we both want Cody to win. I also think Cody will win for a few different reasons. Number one, similar to the streak, and now that the person that we don't mention is no longer with the company, similar to the streak, I think there's some records that don't need to be broken. I don't think Cena should have gotten this close personally, but with that, because again, it was a time where title reigns, the belts were traded back and forth so often. There's 2 world titles within the WWE, so it's easier, quote unquote, to win the championship, more pay-per-views, all those reasons. The other thing of it is, we often say in wrestling that you go out on your shield, you go out on your back, which means you lose your last match. This is not his last match. I know he's gonna have matches after this, but I'm really hoping that Cody retains, just so we get Cody versus someone else. Even if they somehow the belt winds up with The Rock, but I don't want it to be Cena. I just don't want to be Cena, and I think it would be a very selfish way for him to go out. With that being said, that is everything that's announced. But I did want to have one question for you before we move. So I mentioned earlier Chelsea Green was missing from the pay-per-view, and I doubt she will get a match. But there's one person that is definitely missing from this pay-per-view due to the injury to Kevin Owens. He's going to have a match. They're building too much about will he get a match or not. He will have a match. How do you think they integrate Randy Orton into WrestleMania?
Man, I would be okay if I would be okay if he jumped into making the Cody Rhodes, John Cena a triple threat. I would also be okay with just him out there saying that that he could take anybody, and
Sure.
whatever, and just have an open invitation for anybody to try to take out the Viper, and then we get someone like Aleister Black or something like that.
Right.
I'm cool. I'm even cool if it's Nick Aldis.
Yes.
I want it to be somebody different, because there's not enough time to build beef with anybody.
Yes.
So I think the best thing that they could do is have somebody come in and give them a good match.
Yeah. Possibly there's someone from NXT you can elevate. Who knows? Maybe, and I was even thinking this a little bit, the Miz doesn't have a match right now. So it wouldn't be a competitive match.
Sheamus?
Yeah. Sheamus is a good example. But even if it's a short match to give him a match, like again, my thought with the Miz is someone that comes out. Miz actually hasn't had a match on WrestleMania for a couple of years. I think the last match he actually had, well, maybe when he and Truth won, but have Miz come out, maybe with Carmelo Hayes with him as well, just talking hella crap, and then he RKO's one or both of them, and then wins. It'll be a short match. It won't be the match with KO, but it gives him a match, and then kind of resets him for next. There's not enough time to build an anger or beef with anybody, so give him a one-off. Give the fans what they want, which is at WrestleMania. They want to see an RKO. They want to sing his song. They want to see an RKO, and they want to see him walk out with a victory. So just give him someone that he can squash real quick and call it good from there. All right, my friend. That was fun. Looking at how we thought, as far as, I'll just go with who we think will win. We mashed on the Gunther Jay match. We mashed on the Jade Naomi match. We mashed on the tag title match. We mashed on the triple threat regarding Rollins, Reigns, and Punk. We matched on the world title match featuring Bianca, Io, and Rhea. We matched a lot on night 2. We matched on the Logan AJ Styles match. We matched on the women's tag match. We matched on the Intercontinental title match, the McIntyre match, and the only match on night 2 that we did not match on for who we think will win is the main event. I have Cody retaining, you have Cena winning. So night 2 is going to be kind of fun. Night 2 is going to be kind of fun. All right. With that, sir, are you ready for the Nerd-a-getton?
I am ready. What is the Nerd-a-getton? Well, if you're not listening, you wouldn't know. So make sure you listen to this podcast.
We're about to Nerd-a-get it on.
Nerd-a-getton it on. The Tournament of Awesomeness. Okay, so here's what we do. We have a list. Our theme tonight is Spider-Man Rogues Gallery. We go through our 10-person list. Then we take a 20-sided die, and we're going to scratch 2 of those people off the list. We don't know what numbers. 1 and 11 are the same. 2, 12, you're going to get it. And then we're just going to go down 1 verse 2, 3 verse 4, 5 verse 6, and so on and so on and so on. Who we like better, who we think is the better Spider-Man villain, until we each get down to 1 person. Then Brian and I are going to have a quick little debate and see who is going to win the evening. Brian, are you ready?
I am so ready. So we are going to go through Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, who we think is the best. Spider-Man, in my opinion, I think you may agree, partner, has the second best Rogues Gallery in all of comics. Number 1 is Batman. So we look at the Marvel universe, who has the best group of villains. It is unabashedly Spider-Man, newer and more historical. Spider-Man has got us there. So with that being said, we're gonna run through our picks and we'll be good to go. So why don't you, I think last week I may have started with mine, so why don't you start with yours, sir?
All right, so before I get this, I gotta ask this. Gotta ask, I'll let you strike it if you don't think this works as a villain.
Okay.
Is Peter Parker a villain to Spider-Man?
No.
Because he's always fighting. He's always fighting he's fighting time to be Spider-Man.
Yes.
Peter Parker. I mean, it's the situation. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But and the reason that I say this is while he fights for time, he sees the value of being Spider-Man, and he could also stop being Spider-Man. I think you make an argument that Bruce Banner is an enemy to the Hulk.
Okay.
But I think the Spider-Man Parker dynamic is like, if any of us were in a position to do the things that he does, there's a time crunch of making both sides of his life work. But yeah, but I want to give it to you, bro. I'm saying you cannot have Peter Parker as a villain to Spider-Man.
Fair enough. Okay.
Right,
my number one, order isn't going to matter here because he's got so many great rogues. We're going to start off with Green Goblin.
And Green Goblin's going to be your number 9.
All right.
By the way, are we talking Norman Osborn Green Goblin or Harry Osborn Green Goblin?
Norman Osborn, yeah.
All right. The OG. I feel
the OG. Harry will be Hobgoblin, man.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I did only put one Goblin on here. So.
Fair. So did I. So we'll talk about when I come mine. All right.
Next, man, you can't make it too far in a Spider-Man Rogues Gallery without talking about Doc Ock.
Fair. So Doc Ock, funnily enough, is your 8-bit.
Okay. All right, man. And this one I kind of went back and forth on because he's not much of a villain now. But Venom, I mean,
oh yeah,
so much history between Spider-Man and Venom.
Yes.
You don't get Venom without the symbiote spider suit.
Yes. Topher Grace tried. Grace tried.
I mean, you got to blame Sony on that one.
Yeah. 1 and 2 were, and 2 I think still of the original trio. I think 2 is still my favorite Spider-Man live action movie. But there was so much. Similar to Galactus, we were so waiting for Venom, and Topher Grace, especially with Tobey Maguire, like, okay, similar size, I can see this, and it just the moment they had him dancing, which just showed how bad it was. When Into the Spider-Verse made fun of that, I was like, there it is. It is. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is your, and by the way, Venom is your number 2.
Venom is number 2, okay? Next, man, this one, I talked myself out of putting Punisher on the list. Because there's a solid case we made. Punisher has hunted Spider-Man. But then when you're talking about hunting, there is only one real hunter who has hunted everything else, and the one thing that he has not been able to capture is Spider-Man. There's a really bad movie made about it. I don't know if you've watched it yet. Kraven the Hunter is next.
I hope they bring him into the MCU. I hope they keep the same actor.
Yeah.
I hope they somehow integrate him into one of the street level shows like Daredevil. I think the character worked much better there. By the way, Kraven is your number 5 bet.
Yeah, there were so many bad decisions made in that movie, man.
It made the Eternals look good. That's all I can say. It made the Eternals look good.
You're not kidding, man. All right, next. Dude, this one is kind of tough, too, because it's Spider-Man's version of Catwoman. We gotta have Black Cat on here. I can think of 2 good reasons why you have to have Black Cat.
We probably think of the same too.
Yeah.
All right. So, with I love her last name is Hardy. Yeah. So Black Cat, for all the reasons, is gonna be lucky or unlucky number 6. So Black Cat. I struggle with Black Cat because to me she has a similar dynamic as Catwoman has with Batman. I'm like, this is also kind of a bit of a romance. This is like the flirtatious dancing. So, but I feel you where you give her that. All right.
That's one of the things I like the most about Spider-Man's villains. Same way with Batman's too, is that a lot of them could easily become heroes.
There's a lot of depth, and again, I think, and for me, after Batman and Spider-Man, it actually goes probably to the Flash.
Yeah.
But similar to, I mean, Batman's villains typically have a tragic aspect of them, and Spider-Man's villains have a multi-layered side to them, you know, where they're not just evil to be evil, right? And I think that's what made the third Spider-Man Never Go Home, or whatever the most recent one, because it really hit on a lot of those with those characters. So again, I agree with you. So by the way, who is your next pick, my friend?
Next pick is going to be the Rhino.
And again, not the Rhino from Kraven the Hunter.
Not the Rhino from Kraven the Hunter.
We're not the WWE wrestler that hits the gore either, I'm assuming.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. He would have been better in the movie.
Yes, he would have been
better in the movie. Okay.
Oh.
Yes. All right, so Rhino's number 3.
Number 3. Okay. Okay, next, you have to really know where to look on this one. The Chameleon.
Nice.
I'll say the Chameleon is the one thing that Kraven the Hunter movie did fantastic.
They did that right. They did that right. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And oh, my bad. Chameleon's number 1.
Okay. All right, next, it looks like I got 4, 7, and 10.
You do.
All right, next is Mysterio.
And again, with that one, when you look at the movies, I think Jake Gyllenhaal's portrayal was really, really good. I would have loved to see him maybe a little bit more with that, but I think the overall portrayal of Mysterio was done really well in Far From Home. And as I keep getting a lot of redundant dies here, we're going to see where we're at here. All right, we got to get a 4, 7, or a 10. We finally got a 4, so Mysterio is going to be number 4.
Okay, and then next is going to be one. I like a lot of Spider-Man's villains because they're all usually connected to him in some way.
Yes.
And this one maybe more than a lot of the others, but the Lizard.
Ooh. Yes.
Dr. Connors.
And again, we keep drawing the comparison between Batman and Spider-Man. To me, the Lizard is Spider-Man's Man-Bat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, absolutely. All right, so, by the way, the Lizard is your number 7.
And that means my final pick is going to be my number 10 choice.
Yes, sir.
And that is, when you're talking about badasses in the Spider-Man world, this one is probably one of the more badass of the badasses. This is the Sandman.
Yes.
You can't get a good list like this without Sandman. And that's my number 10.
And we're not talking the Metallica song. We're not talking about the guy who comes through your dreams. So yes.
That's right. We're not talking the DC Sandman. We're talking Marvel Sandman.
Yes. All right. So next up, we want to cover my 10, sir. Are you ready?
Well, let's strike my 2 first.
Strike. I'm sorry. Well, strike first. Yep. Okay. So any ones you don't want to lose?
I don't want to lose Venom.
Okay.
And I really don't want to lose. I really don't want to lose Doc Ock.
So 2 and 8. Let's see what we get here.
Right.
Rolling first. It is a 1, so you lost the Chameleon.
Lost the Chameleon. Okay. I can live without the Chameleon.
I was gonna say that's not a huge loss looking at your other picks. And rolling second time. Got 1 again, so we'll roll again. I pulled an 8, so you did lose Doc Ock.
Okay.
So you split the difference there. All
right. So no Doc Ock. That one's gonna hurt me a little bit. Okay.
Did you prefer the old school Doc Ock or the female version from the new Across the Spider-Verse one?
I like the old school, man.
Okay.
Give me the bad haircut. Give me
the bowl cut. Yes.
Or at least the Alfred Molina, because he was so good in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I gotta say, Molina probably is second only Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, he was so good. He was so good. All right, so I'm gonna give you mine. So when you're ready, I'll start off.
I'm ready.
All right. So first off, I feel that while this person may not be the greatest physical threat to Spider-Man, this person is without a doubt has the greatest amount of hate for Spider-Man and wants to see Spider-Man unmasked, jailed, and flogged to an end of his life. I got to give it to J. Jonah Jameson.
That is your number 3 choice.
All right.
I almost put him in my list.
Next up, this guy very much. This is Marvel's version of Lex Luthor, including the same haircut. But I feel like he can be a huge threat to lots of villains, fellow street level villains, fellow villains that are in New York. Who knows? He might even one day become the mayor of New York. My next up is the Kingpin.
You know, I fought with myself. With as much as he is Spider-Man, is he more Spider-Man or Daredevil?
See, and I thought, and I meant to look it up. I thought he started with Spidey and then migrated over to Daredevil. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
That's why I went with him. Okay.
Now, hey, are you watching Daredevil?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah. And don't forget, tonight is the new season of Last of Us.
I did forget that. Okay, I will.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be getting that taken care of probably tonight.
Yes, sir. All right, my friend. So where's Kingpin on my list?
Number 2.
Okay, I can live with that. This one is primarily I've liked this villain, but I'm not gonna lie. This was completely led by your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man series. I love what they did with the characters. So my next up is Tombstone.
Yeah, dude, Tombstone. Really, your friendly neighbor Spider-Man built that villain. Or
it totally
not
made
even
Lonnie,
villain.
yeah.
I mean, like, it just built that
character. Absolutely,
Dude,
absolutely.
I think I've watched that show like 3 times.
Yes, it's really
so
good. It's really good.
And Tombstone is your number 5.
All right. Next up, again, something that was driven by how his character was really recreated with the third, then the most recent live-action Spider-Man movie. And actually didn't mind Jamie Foxx's portrayal of this character in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm going with Electro.
That is your number 10 choice.
Plus, you gotta love a guy that can roll around in spandex with a big lightning star on his face. Like, come on now.
And the fact,
yeah.
I was saying the fact that we don't have any crossover yet, I'm pretty impressed.
Yes, yes. We are about to have a couple though. Next up, Sandman.
He's number 7. Oh, and I'm sorry, Electro was number 10.
Yep. We agreed on this next one as well. I think he's a great Spider-Man villain, and I just like the fact that, you know, he's a villain that gets you by, on some level, making you face your worst fears, but doing them through the art of illusion. So if David Blaine ever goes full-on villain, he should play this person. We got Mysterio.
All right, Mysterio, that is your number 6.
The Lizard. You can't have a Spider-Man roast gala without the Lizard. So,
Nope.
Kurt Connors losing the arm, but still, Reese Ifan played him so well. So what are we going here?
Number 1.
Boom.
So you have number 4, number 8, and number 9.
All right. So let's find out where Doc Ock sits.
He will be your number 9, Doc Ock.
With the power of the sun in the palm of his hand. And then the last two we will also match with Venom.
Venom is your number 4. Which means your final.
Yes.
All right, who is it?
Green Goblin.
All right.
And is that number 8?
That is number 8, yes.
All right.
So your list goes Lizard, Kingpin, J. Jonah Jameson, Venom, Tombstone, Mysterio, Sandman, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Electro. All right, and tell me two that you really don't want to lose.
I don't want to lose Venom, and I don't want to lose Green Goblin. So I don't want to lose 8 or 4.
All right, well, we got close. You're gonna lose Sandman.
All right,
Number
so
seven. Number
Okay.
7, you're gonna lose.
All right.
All right, and next, well, you lost.
Don't say Venom. Don't say
You
Venom.
lost Green Goblin.
Ah.
Number 8.
Okay.
Number 8. So we both
All
lost
right.
one. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
It's gonna be interesting because we have about half overlap. In fact, so I lost. So I did not have Chameleon. We both had Doc Ock. You lost Doc. I kept him. We both had Green Goblin. I lost him. You kept him. And Sandman, we both have. I lost. You kept. So we still have potential for some 1v1s here. So some face off with some overlap. So let's get it.
All right, man.
So for you, it's going to be your 2 versus 3. Venom versus Rhino.
That one's going to be easy. That one is Venom all the way.
Yep.
All right, and then you want to do all my choices, then we'll do your round?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. So that brings us Mysterio versus Craven. Craven's sort of powered. So
Well,
Mysterio
he is, but here's the thing. Mysterio can use his power of illusion against Craven.
So you got Brain versus Brawn here. What are you going?
Yeah, we're gonna go Brain in this one. I'm gonna give it to Mysterio.
All right. And so much of that movie is unforgivable. Craven, we got to get you out of here.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we got the Lizard is the luckiest person in this draw. The Lizard faces off with Black Cat. Who you got, 6 or 7?
Shoot.
Now this is a 1-on-1 Black Cat versus the Lizard.
Sorry, Lizard. Oh God. You know what?
You are not voting with your head, man. You are not voting. Well, okay.
With one of them. Lizard's got to win. Lizard has to win this one.
All right, yeah.
It has to.
Okay. So Doc Ock is out, so that leaves Green Goblin versus Sandman.
Well, I mean, this happened. I mean, it sort of happened in No Way Home.
Yeah.
Green Goblin versus Sandman. I'm gonna have to go the better villain. Not because I think they would really win the fight, because he's the better villain for Spider-Man, is Green Goblin. So I have to give this to Gobby.
I'm good with that. I am totally good with that.
So Sandman is out.
All right. So we go the Lizard versus Kingpin on my side. Oh, no, we're gonna finish all your whole draw. Okay.
Oh no, we'll do your number
one.
one.
We're back and forth. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. So my next up is my thinning is gonna go
Lizard
down
versus Kingpin.
Yeah, my top 8. We got the Lizard versus the Kingpin. Straight up, while the Lizard has all the physical attributes in the world, the better villain and someone that will manage to win this fight, I'm eliminating the Lizard. Sorry, Kurt, and I'm definitely keeping Kingpin.
All right, next will be J. Jonah Jameson versus Venom.
Of course, J. Jonah. No, we gotta go. I'll say J. Jonah put in there as a completely sacrificial pick because I just love the dynamic there. But there's no way, unless somehow J. Jonah Jameson got the symbiote, we gotta eliminate J. Jonah Jameson, and we're keeping Venom.
Okay.
So, quick question. I know you know a lot about Venom. What has the Venom symbiote ever infected Wolverine?
Yes.
How did that go? Because that seems like
it was
God level powers.
So Marvel did this pretty much like everybody got a symbiote thing. Everybody got venomized. So it wasn't it went pretty good. But quick question for you: do you know who the new Venom is right now?
I do not.
So Marvel made this big deal because currently, right now, Eddie Brock is actually bonded with Carnage.
Yes.
Yeah, and his son Dylan Brock does not have Venom right now, but Venom is actually Mary Jane.
Yes.
Mary Jane is currently Venom right now.
Mary Jane,
they just did a big reveal.
Is Mary Jane aware that she's Venom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they did like a 5-issue who is it type of thing.
Yes, yes.
And it was a total misdirect because they didn't even have Mary Jane. I think she was like in one of the issues, but they were like, "Oh, is it this person, this person, this person?" And it was none of them. But yeah, Mary Jane is the Venom right now.
I love that for a lot of reasons. So that is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. All right. So next up, we've got my 4v5. So
yeah, Tombstone and Mysterio.
Yep, Tombstone and Mysterio. I'm giving Tombstone. I just love again the character. That's more of a heart pick than a head pick. But we're gonna say Mysterio over Tombstone.
You're gonna say Mysterio over Tombstone, okay? Yeah, man. Honestly, after the show, I really think Tombstone. They could easily turn Tombstone into a hero.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right, man. Final one: Doc Ock versus Electro.
I gotta say, if you think about who are the most synonymous villains of Spider-Man after Green Goblin, I think definitely Doc Octopus comes up next.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with Doc Ock over Electro. So
all right,
takes me down to my final four. Let's jump over to your side again. So
I'm ready.
We got 2v4. So Venom versus Mysterio.
Venom versus Mysterio. This is gonna have to be Venom. I mean, Venom. I love me some Venom. I personally, I think I probably have more Venom comic books than I have Spider-Man.
Venom may be the best anti-hero. Now, I still know many times he's portrayed or she's portrayed as a villain, but if you think about from the anti-hero, especially in the Marvel universe, Wolverine, they like to throw it as an anti-hero. Wolverine has always been a hero, just a hero that's a badass. When you look at true anti-heroes, I gotta go with Venom more so even than Punisher. I really think Venom is really the standard bearer for anti-heroes in the Marvel universe. So absolutely, total
that would definitely make a really cool, a really interesting team up. Punisher Venom.
Yes,
I would be for that. I wonder if they have in the past. I'm sure they have, but I mean, like an actual like team up book would be really cool.
You just know Venom would get on Frank's nerves so much.
Oh God,
he'd just be like slamming Metamucil because his stomach's all backed up. It'd be great.
Throwing Deadpool in there. And
God, yes, the mercs in the mouth. All right,
yeah.
So now that leaves us Lizard and Green Goblin. Who you got?
All right, man. Sorry, Lizzie. Sorry, Connors. You're gonna go. This has got to be Doc Ock. I can't let Doc Ock out right
so
yet.
Your final's gonna be two old schools for real, Venom and Green Goblin.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to my side of the draw. So
Kingpin versus Venom. You're going hardcore. Woo! This could have been a final battle.
This really could have been. All right, Venom, Kingpin. Wow, this is a toss-up. I'm trying to think of who's the better Spider-Man villain. And again, Kingpin has been so attached to Daredevil recently.
Yeah, but Venom also hasn't really been a Spider-Man villain in a hot minute as well. So
So for me, I'm gonna say goodbye to Venom. I'm gonna keep Kingpin.
Okay, I think that's right, because as good as Venom is, and if Venom ends up at my top, and we'll all get into that too, that's gonna have to be part of my choice here as well. All right.
And then Tombstone and Doc Ock. Again, Tombstone, you're a sentimental pick, but you gotta go. We're keeping Doc Ock. So my final is gonna be Dr. Octopus versus Kingpin. So we will not have any duplicates. So we have Venom and Green Goblin on your side, and Dr. Octopus and Kingpin on my side. All four, you could say these are probably the four. Probably if you had to pick the top 5 Spider-Man villains, all 4 of these legit will probably be in the top 5. All 4 probably in the top 5. All right. So
So
I'm a tough decision, man.
Not as tough as I thought it was going to be though, because of this. anymore today, if you ask anybody, is Venom a Spider-Man villain? They would say no. He has passed villainy to just be Venom, right? I mean, to the point where you don't even talk about the times where they didn't like each other, they fought. Yeah. You want the face.
You can do an entire movie trilogy and not explain anything about it, right?
Exactly. So with that, I have to give this to Doc Ock. Doc Ock is going to be the guy I'm taking to the end.
I think you mean Goblin. I think you mean Green Goblin. You said Doc Ock. I think you mean Green Goblin.
Oh, I meant Green Goblin. Yes.
Yes, sir. All right. And then for me, Dr. Octopus and Kingpin, I got to go Kingpin again. I like Doc Ock. I think, especially in movies, the Alfred Molina portrayal is really great. But we think about, again, who I feel would be the greatest nemesis of Spider-Man. Kingpin, you got your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man versus the Kingpin. That David versus Goliath thing, I think, is what would draw us into it. So I'm going with Kingpin. So now we've got Kingpin and the Green Goblin. Bradley, who do we think is the greatest Spider-Man villain based on Kingpin versus Green Goblin?
I think for the fact that you said it, I've said it, that Kingpin is now more of a Daredevil villain.
Yes.
It's got to be Green Goblin.
It does.
But again, Kingpin being the person who is doing all the crime in the street, in charge of all the crime in the street, Kingpin really, really should be the big bad for all the street levels.
Yes.
Spider-Man, Iron Fist,
Jessica
all
Jones,
those.
Power Man, or Luke Cage, yes.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I would say why you don't consider maybe Spider-Man street levels, you do those other four, the Defenders, is, Tony Stark's not recruiting those other four. He's definitely coming after Spider-Man. But yeah, I totally agree with you. So you're going to carry the day. We're going to X out Kingpin, and Green Goblin wins this week's Nerd-a-getton Tournament of Awesomeness.
Yes.
Raise the glass, my friend. Whew. You earned it. You earned it.
Quick question, man. Who do you think we're going to get cameoed in the finale of Daredevil? Do you think we're going to see Mike Coulter?
Yes. Yes. I think whether we get full-on Mike Coulter or we get just that shadowy, huge figure wearing a hoodie, I think that's 100% where you go with this. I think we definitely want Luke Cage, Mike Coulter in this, more so than any of the other Defenders. And then it goes from there. Because again, if you got Luke Cage, that gives us automatically Jessica Drew and all the things. So yeah,
Jessica Jones and Iron Fist.
Yes.
Do you want Finn? Well, do you want Finn, whatever his name is, to come back as Iron Fist?
I think I might say this before. I don't even want Iron Fist. I want Shang-Chi, but that's not going to happen.
Right.
So I give me Iron Fist. You can even keep the same cat. I just want less is more with him. I want him.
When heroes for hire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you can bring back Iron Fist. Is we for heroes for hire.
Yes, that's 100% the only way we do it. But yes, excited, and again, I think we're going to get Mike Coulter to come and face down Evil. See what I did there?
I do see what you did. Very good, man.
All right,
and also a very underrated show. If you haven't watched Evil, you definitely should.
Evil is very good. Evil is very, very good.
Dude, it's time to play some games.
Yes, sir. So, since we just finished our Nerd-a-getton Tournament Awesomeness based on Spider-Man, Brad, I have a few trivia questions. I got 3 in particular.
Nice.
To test your Spider-Man knowledge. Now, these are going to be based on the movies. Okay. So, I have one from the Tobey Maguire trilogy. I have one from the Andrew Garfield duo. And then I have one from the most recent trilogy. So, we'll see how this goes. All right? Okay. First one, based on Spider-Man 2002. Peter Parker is in a cage fight with a wrestler portrayed by the Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. What was the name of the character that Randy Savage portrayed?
Oh my god. I think it started with a B. Was it like the
It did start with a B. I'll give you that.
the Bruiser, the Buster,
You're getting close.
Booster?
I'll give you a hint. It's a tool. It's a medical tool.
Bracer? Give it to me, man.
All right. It is the bone saw.
The bone saw. That's right. That's right.
All right.
I get 0.1 of a point because I got the B.
Yes, you did get yes. And you know what? That's all that really matters. Question 2. In The Amazing Spider-Man back in 2012, what is the name of so Connors is experimenting on mice with the limb regeneration. So he actually names one. He only names one of them. So what is the name of the three-legged mouse in The Amazing Spider-Man?
Lucky.
Ah, not quite.
I have no idea.
Fred.
All right, yeah. That would have been my 14th choice.
That's a hard guess. I had to look it up myself.
That's good.
All right, and then I see if you will get this one. So when we got Spider-Man Homecoming, Peter's spider suit comes with built-in AI. What is the name? So it's not Jarvis. It's not Friday. What is the name of Peter's AI? He actually names her. What is the name of Peter's AI? He says her name when he's telling them to start the insta-kill. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
You might see this person at a barbecue calling the cops.
Yeah. I'm blank, man. Give it to me.
It is Karen.
Karen. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right, good job. All three of those were good.
But I just felt one to go there. All right, sir, because I knew, especially with a constellation, I'm about to feel some pain, my friend, but let's see what we can make happen.
All right, buddy, so I got a constellation for you, and I like to try to incorporate things from the episode that we're going to talk about. So yes, tonight, Brian, I need you to connect the constellation of Rami Malek from the Amateur to the one, the only 7 Degrees was named after it, Kevin
I
Bacon.
knew it.
So the
I knew you were going to do it.
To Rami Malek.
I knew you were going to do it. Oh.
And I can do it in 2 stars.
Okay. Rami to Bacon. Rami to Kevin Bacon. All right. All right, so part of me goes, given Kevin Bacon's background, part of me wants to go, through Christian Slater. But so now I'm in the 80s.
Okay.
Now I'm in the 80s. So,
I got one hint for you if you want me to give you a hint.
Let's pause for a second, but it might get me there. Let's see here. How many did you do it in?
2.
Gotcha beat.
You can do it in 1.
I can do it in 1 with Christian Slater.
Whoa, okay.
So Malik and Slater are in Mr. Robot, and then Slater and Kevin Bacon in a movie called Murder in the First. So that gets me there in 1.
Oh, shit.
That gets me there in 1.
Great. Oh, man, okay. All right, well, I went the Austin Powers route, man. So Rami Malek was in Bohemian Rhapsody with Mike Myers.
Oh,
and Mike
of
Myers
course.
was in Austin Powers, of course, with The Spy Who Shagged Me,
Yes.
Heather Graham.
Yes.
And then Heather Graham was in Mystic River with Kevin Bacon.
That's well done as well.
Yes,
That's well
man.
done as well. That's well done as well.
Murder in the First, dude. That might need a rewatch. That was
really good. Yes.
Man, Murder in the First is like in that category of movies like Frailty.
Yes.
Oh god.
Yes.
Dude, did you finish 1923?
I think I've got 2 episodes left.
Okay. There.
You want to unpack it?
Few shows have been like giving me like where I'm actually mad or I'm actually yelling or I'm actually giving that vocal response.
Okay.
And this one
and in a good way, I take it. In a good way. Okay.
I mean,
all right, no spoilers. All right, I'll check it out.
No spoilers. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Awesome. And you got an honest ad yet?
I do. And so next week we will not be recording because not only is that going to be WrestleMania weekend, but that Sunday is also Easter. So however you celebrate, if you choose not to, hope everybody enjoys their happy and safe Easter and WrestleMania and whatever else you may do on April 20th. Yes.
Yeah.
So with that being said, though, I don't know about you, but I can't think about Easter without Peeps. So here's my honest ad for Peeps. Before I do that, though, I had a couple of facts as I was doing a little research on my honest ad. Did you know that first off, Peeps were created in 1953 in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania?
Oh.
The Peeps factory produces over 2 billion Peeps a year, which means it produces 5.5 million Peeps per day.
That's disgusting.
In 2003, there's actually they created what they call the Peeps Fun Bus that has a gigantic Peep on the top of it. And then 2 other things that will probably be a little challenging is that every year there is a Peeps Fest where they see who can eat the most amount of Peeps in 5 minutes. The current champion, the current record holder is a man by the name of Matt Stowe. He's a competitive eater. He ate 255 Peeps in 5 minutes.
And is currently type 1 diabetic.
I am sure. And it's probably purple from all the dye he ate. And then lastly, Pepsi owns the rights to making a Peeps soda.
That I knew because a year or so ago there was a Pepsi Peeps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never tried it.
So I don't blame you. I do not blame you. So with that, here's our honest ad for the Peeps. Made of sugar, syrup, salt, and air, this Easter staple is meant to be shared. Shaped like chickens, eggs, and bunnies for some reason, they are known to be always in season. They come in great, strawberry and vanilla, but watching them explode in the microwave is always a thriller. Peeps can be found in cakes, brownies, there's even a Peeps soft drink. Peeps are in more places than you would ever think. Peeps are indestructible, or so they say. Peeps and cockroaches will all that survive the nuclear death ray. It seems quite clear, after all is done and said, Peeps can be anywhere, even under the bed. By the way, if you have Peeps under your bed, do not eat them.
Right. No.
I did see an interesting poll. I cannot imagine the list and algorithm on now, but the Peeps company actually did a poll to see how most people like their Peeps, and about 40% of the people who responded to the poll said that they prefer the Peeps stale, so they would actually take them out of the wrapper, let them dry out, and they say they taste better. Yeah. That's too much thinking about a Peep.
Go see a shrink, man. You got some thought. You got some issues. You need to work through.
Just toast. Get you a glass of tequila, and it'll be better for you.
Yeah.
Get some wings, or get a scotcheroo. Get you a scotcheroo.
Yes, absolutely. Get a scotcheroo. All right, man. That was a good one. Good, very,
right.
very, very good. Better than us human of the week, which I forgot to do. So what do you got?
I'm going to give this one to a person that if we had recorded last week, we would have captured up to, and you were traveling and I was busy, so we didn't record last week, but we need to give just a moment to toast and give some RIP, rest in power, to Val Kilmer. So,
Oh,
Val Kilmer,
yeah, Iceman.
yes, the Iceman. He made volleyball awkward for me as a very young child. Him and Rick Rossovich, I didn't quite understand. By the way, you gotta love Anthony Edwards. He goes, I'm keeping the shirt on. I'm just gonna, keep the shirt. But no, I'm gonna keep it on. I'm good.
I gotta do another Nerds movie. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm good. I know I'm going to medical school so I can work at a hospital in Chicago.
Yeah.
That I'll die from brain cancer in about 20 years. So that's what we're gonna do.
Did you see that the creator of ER's wife is suing the producers of The Pit?
Yes. And if you read the backstory, I am not an attorney, and I love The Pit, so I hope that The Pit is not paused. But she's kind of got a point in that she met with Noah Wiley and one of the creators of The Pit about doing a revival of ER, and then those two pulled out of the revival, and then a few years later, we have The Pit. Mm-hmm. So her thing is, and if you watch The Pit, I know we both enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's definitely some, just how it was shot. There's definitely, and it's Noah Wiley too, so we maybe just see anything because we remember Dr. Carter, but it definitely is within the same vein as ER. But you can say that The West Wing or any legal show is in the same vein as LA Law, right? But yeah, there is some of that. So hopefully it comes to a resolution, because The Pit, and again, if you've not, I know you said you have not seen the end of it. The Pit is very, very well done. Very, very well done.
Great. Awesome, man. Yeah, I concur, Val Kilmer. All right, dude, it's time to start wrapping things up. If you want to follow us, go to, want to help us out, go to buymeacoffee.com/nerdpositive or patreon.com/nerdpositive. Brian, where can we find you, my friend?
And as always, you can find me on the Book of Phases, Brian Stephen Dennis, what the S actually stands for. Give me a like, give me a follow, give me a friend request. And as always, try and keep my content funny and occasionally weird.
All right, man. And so, well, you know what? Go ahead. Let's end it. Let's go ahead and end it, man. Let's hear some words of wisdom.
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us on the podcast, which is the best part of our week. So thank you again for coming through the pandemic and testing Nerd Positive. So each and every week, we want to send you out into the world remembering a few different things. First off, no retreat and no surrender, and Goonies, never say die.
Friendship is like peeing on yourself. Everyone can see it, but only you get the warm feeling that it brings. Every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter. And remember, squirrels' cheeks are their nutsacks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, folks.